Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Diane Ryan, and I am the Vice President of Academic Affairs. Welcome to the 51st Annual Commencement of Yavapai College. The Star-Spangled Banner will be sung this afternoon by the Yavapai College Chamber Singers, conducted by Dr. Joshua Harper. Please rise and join us for the singing of our national anthems. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. Students and guests, please be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce the members of the Platform Party who provide leadership and support for Yavapai College. Dr. Lisa Rhine, President of Yavapai College. Ms. Deb McCaslin, Chair of our District Governing Board. Mr. Paul Chevalier, Board Member of our District Governing Board. Dr. Jennifer Jacobson, President of the Faculty Association and Senate. Dr. Clint Ewell, Vice President for Finance and Administrative Services. Mr. Rodney Jenkins, Vice President for Community Relations and Student Development. And Ms. Cami Koboleski, Director of Development and Alumni Affairs. And now, will the faculty please stand so that the graduates can acknowledge you one final time? Today marks a beginning for our students as they make the transition to the next phase of their lives and careers. They have achieved their goal, but they were not alone. They had you, family, friends, and classmates to support and encourage them. So this afternoon, we also honor you. You have played a very meaningful role in the lives of these graduates. At this time, I would like to ask all the parents of our graduating students to stand and receive your well-deserved recognition. Parents, please stand. I would also like to recognize the spouses and children of today's graduates. So any spouses and children, please stand. And for any grandparents or or great-grandparents in the audience, as well as other family members, friends, and supporters of our graduates, please stand and be recognized. The Yavapai College faculty have guided these graduates through their academic coursework and prepared them well. I am now pleased to introduce the President of the Faculty Association and Senate, Dr. Jennifer Jacobson, who will address the graduates on behalf of the faculty.
Good afternoon, graduates. As Dr. Ryan noted, my name is Jenny Jacobson, and I teach sociology courses at Yavapai College. It's hard to recognize if I've had any of you. Sociologists focus on inequality in society among groups of people, but that wasn't always my focus. Back in my day, I was a cheerleader. None of the faculty are surprised by this. Anyway, the primary requirement for making the cheerleading squad was athletic ability. A back handspring, a standing back flip, the splits, that kind of thing. It seemed totally reasonable to me. Well, in my senior year of high school, the administration decided to change the standard for making the cheer squad. The team was not a school sport, but a club. And therefore, the administration wanted the team to look more like the student body. I grew up in El Centro, California, 20 minutes away from the border with Mexico. My high school was 95% Mexican American, but my cheerleading squad was 90% white American. I was furious. How dare they water down the athletic requirements of the cheerleading squad? The standard for making the team was clearly not an example of institutional discrimination, right? Wrong. I was very wrong. I was young, I was 17. And here I need to step back and tell you a bit more about what sociologists study. We examine how the groups you belong to shape you as an individual, and how you, the individual, may resist or accept the pressure groups put on you. Groups like your family, your school, your race, gender, social class, you get the idea. Sociologists are less concerned with individual one-on-one discrimination. We examine how institutions like the place you work, your school, your religious house of worship, how institutions have discriminatory practices and policies embedded within them. And in the case of my cheerleading squad, the athletic standard that seemed so reasonable to me, well, only the girls who met that standard were the ones who spent years and years in gymnastics classes, expensive gymnastics classes. Yes, every once in a while, a self-taught athlete made the cheerleading squad. But the thing most of us had in common was the ability to afford gymnastics classes. So the institution was privileging those of us from a higher social class. Now, what does this have to do with you? Well, institutions are comprised of individuals. You, graduates, especially in your place of work, will be in a position where you may perpetuate the discriminatory practices and policies of your workplace, or you may say something about them and push for change. Whether you're leaving here to become a nurse, a teacher, a miner, an entrepreneur, or a police officer, you will be in a position where you can improve your workplace. I have one more example. At a previous college, I was on a hiring committee. We were hiring an administrative assistant. We had 2 candidates who were similarly qualified. One person on the hiring committee noted that one of our candidates may have trouble with communication via email. She worried that this candidate, I'll call her Stella, learned English as her second language and therefore might not be as qualified at writing perfectly grammatically correct emails as the other candidate. The committee discussed this and decided we would talk to Stella. We hired her, talked to her about this issue, and she came up with an easy idea. Would someone be willing to proofread her emails until she felt more comfortable? Yes, and Stella is still at that institution 10 years later, and she's managing an even larger group than the one she was hired to work with. Graduates, I am not asserting that you lower your standards when you are in a position to hire someone. What I am saying is that you must thoroughly examine your institution's practices, and especially their policies. Should inclusivity take priority over perfect grammar when hiring an administrative assistant? Yeah, it should. And now a quote from an activist who I admire, Yuri Kuchiyama. Consciousness is power. Tomorrow's world is yours to build. It's not going to be given to you. You have to demand it. You have to build it together. And so on this day of celebration, I congratulate you, and I hope that you will be more intentional than previous generations on how you shape your workplace. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Jacobson. That was an important message. Since this ceremony celebrates student achievement, we are now honored to hear from our student speaker, which is Erica McComber. Erica?
Good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations, everybody. Last May, it never would have occurred to me that I would be standing here addressing all of you. Ironically, I was preparing a surprise backyard graduation for my younger brother. He was in high school and getting ready to head off to West Point Military Academy for his first year as a cadet. Like many graduates, he missed out on the traditional form of pomp and circumstance due to events that were far beyond any of our control. Furthermore, the concept that I would be finally finishing my associate's degree at 41 years old, let alone have the opportunity to address all of you, and in person, was far, far beyond the forefront of my thoughts. However, here we are, and I would like to begin with a tremendous thank you for my advisor, Gwendolyn Payne. Gwen, thank you for your recommendation to speak, as I don't know that I would be standing here without that. Also, thank you for not just advising me, but for also being a support, a confidant, and for believing in and supporting me. I would also like to take a brief moment to thank my husband, my beautiful kids, my parents, my siblings, my family, and my dear friends. As no success is purely your own, this one has been a long time in the making, and heaven knows it's certainly been 100% a team effort. This last semester, I had the pleasure of taking Humanities 101. I had Professor White sit, and if any of you have taken a class with him, you know that he is really good at making you think. One of the lessons we discussed was Christopher Vogler's adaptation of the mythic structure, The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. The hero's journey is a pattern of narrative that appears in a lot of storytelling. It describes the adventures of the protagonist, and basically they go through the 12 steps of an adventure. They start with the call to adventure, and then they go through everything from experiencing fear, meeting wise folks who then give them the opportunity to hear their wise words, and then they go on the adventure. At that time, after they go on their adventure, they realize that they can, in fact, complete the challenge. They overcome that challenge, and in the end, they return home being better for it. Since then, I've realized that just about every large moment of our lives fits into that context. And for me, I felt like starting here at Yavapai College was one of those moments. Allow me to ask you, how many of you graduates in the last 12 months, or even before that, have felt or faced adversity along your journey? I know that I have. Challenges that maybe perhaps made you feel like you might never arrive here, or that you weren't worthy of the opportunity. I would be willing to bet that many of us in attendance have experienced something in our lives that has derailed our journey. Something that made us feel like maybe we weren't worthy of the greatness or the success or even the joy. Sadly, it's easy to allow ourselves to become a victim of our circumstances and to become sidelined by these events. However, I've learned over the years that even when you turn off the radio, the music keeps playing. I commend you, each of you, for standing up in the face of the challenges, whether it be the last 12 months or your own personal challenges. And I believe that the most important lesson a person can learn is to never settle and to always fight for your dreams. Your dreams are who you are, and to give up on that is really the greatest tragedy. The night before I was supposed to begin class, I remember logging into Canvas for the first time. And first of all, I thought, what in the world is this Canvas business? I'd never seen anything like that before. I literally had a panic attack over my college algebra class. It had been 20 years since I touched a math book. So I'm so sorry, Professor Lilly, but I almost backed out. I said to my husband, I think maybe I should put this off another semester. And he said to me, if you put this off another semester, you will always be putting this off another semester. He was correct. I was still panicked, but he was correct. And I started classes as I planned. College algebra turned out to be pretty fantastic, as was my meteorology class with Professor Doyle and my communications class with Professor Woolsey. But I believe this is true with everything in life. Realistically, what are we waiting for? Why wait one more moment for something that we really truly want within our hearts? We should just go for it. For many of you, like me, after you leave here, you will be continuing on to a university to complete your bachelor's degree. Many of you will enter the workforce. Whatever your next journey may be, I would like to encourage you to keep dreaming. Leave on that journey prepared with all the knowledge that you've gained from this one. However, add to it. Bring kindness, because there is no anger or hurt that kindness won't soften, even if it's just your own. Bring love for one another, because really we're all in this together. Lastly, bring grace. For those that you meet, take the time to understand their hearts and their own individual journeys. And most importantly, bring grace for yourself. Because in those moments when you might feel like you're sidelined or you've been faced with some additional challenges or things that might give you some adversity or pain, that grace is what's going to remind you that you're worth it and that you deserve to keep going, because in the end are moments like today. In closing, I would like to leave you with the words of the great Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Erica, that was fantastic, truly. Wonderful words and delivered beautifully. It is now my pleasure to reintroduce Dr. Jacobson, who will present the Emeritus Faculty Awards.
Okay, we are pleased to honor retired faculty members with the Faculty Emeritus status. Although they were not able to be here with us today, I would like to read a few words about them. Debbie Roberts taught history at Yavapai College for 17 years and is known as a superior instructor, a very rigorous instructor, who adhered to fairness in all of her standards. Debbie, along with Dr. Amy Stein, will also be remembered for organizing Yavapai College's History Symposium. Tom Schumacher served Yavapai College in various roles for 43 years. As campus dean, dean of instruction, division assistant dean, and as visual arts faculty. Serving primarily on the Verde Valley campus, Tom spearheaded the viticulture and enology programs and the development of the Southwest Wine Center. Dave Grazier taught math at Yavapai College for 12 years. He developed the first open educational resource course for college mathematics, and he founded the Great Ideas for Teaching Center. Dave was a devoted husband and father and an avid outdoorsman. And if you ever saw Dave, he was always in his Birkenstocks. Didn't matter how cold it was. Carl Siegfried. Carl taught math at Yavapai College for 18 years. His favorite course to teach was pre-calculus, as part of the business degree. Carl believed in nurturing the student as a whole person. His door was always open, and students often remained in contact with him long after leaving Yavapai College. Congratulations to each of these faculty members.
We will now enjoy Heroes and Dreamers, performed by the Yavapai College Chamber Singers, conducted by Dr. Joshua Harper.
So far, this is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form a chorus, lift your voice, for those before us. We can rely on one another, feel the pride that show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race.
It is now my distinct joy to present these men and women who are graduating this afternoon. I ask the president of Yavapai College, Dr. Lisa Ryan, and District Governing Board Chair, Ms. Deb McCaslin, to join me at the podium. Each of the graduates will be crossing the stage from the audience's right to left. Announcing the graduates' names will be Ms. Lisa Ragoza, assisted by Ms. Tanya Sheldall. Diploma covers will be presented to the graduates by Board Chair Deb McCaslin. Will the degree and certificate candidates please stand? Dr. Ryan and Ms. McCaslin, I present to you the Yavapai College class of 2021.
By virtue of the power and authority invested in me by the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, I now confer upon you the degree of certificate for which you have qualified, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Congratulations. Students, please be seated, and then please come forward as your names are read.
Richard Morales, Associate of General Studies. Leticia Machado, Associate of Arts. Lorena Gonzalez, Associate of Arts. Carl Muirhead, Associate of General Studies. Samika Milligan. Vanessa Martinez, Associate of Arts. Scott Lee, Associate of Applied Science and Accounting. Stephen Ontiveros, Associate of General Studies. Aaron Hernandez, Hotel and Restaurant Management Certificate. Talon Moore, Associate of Arts. Stephanie Garcia, Associate of Arts. Margarita Jacobo, Associate of Applied Science and Administration of Justice. Olivia Gregg, Phlebotomy Technician Certificate. Angel Lopez Cardenas, Phlebotomy Technician Certificate. Yaritza Landa, Culinary Arts Fundamental Certificate. Stephanie Metal, Culinary Arts Fundamental Certificate. Eric Lively, Culinary Arts Fundamental Certificate. Gabriel Lowry, Basic Carpentry Certificate. Carrie McGuire, Culinary Arts Fundamental Certificate. Haley Harrington, Culinary Arts Fundamental Certificate. Trinity McTurk, Culinary Arts Fundamental Certificate. Jasmine Lopez, Associates of Art. Elena Graciano, Associate of Applied Science in Computer Systems and Application. Lisa Graciano, Associate of Applied Science in Management. Josefina Hernandez, Phlebotomy Technician Certificate. Brianna Hill, Certificate Nursing Assistant Certificate. Samantha Lucero, Nursing Assistant Certificate.
I cannot emphasize how full my heart is right now to be able to physically stand in front of all of you after more than a year of isolation, virtual communication, and distance. For those of us in higher education, this is the biggest event of the year. It's analogous to the Super Bowl in the NFL and Wimbledon in tennis. It's our big day. It's a day where all of our faculty and staff's hard work and effort, combined with your hard work and effort, perseverance and sacrifice, and together culminate in recognition of your intellectual and socio-emotional growth and development. The certificate or degree that you've earned signifies that you have now joined the ranks of tens of thousands of men and women who have been educated in the American higher education tradition. Students, this day is all about you and dreams realized. Never let it be said that to dream is a waste of one's time, for dreams are our realities in waiting. In dreams, we plant the seeds of our future. Dreams motivate and they inspire. Dreams cause us to persevere under difficult circumstances, and dreams create a focus in our lives. Dreams are realized at community colleges. The beautiful thing about our community college is the diversity in age and types of students that attend. Our youngest graduate this year is Chris Delaney,
He was born in 2006. He's 15 years old, and he's completing a certificate in basic carpentry. He graduates with his first college credential today, even though his high school graduation date isn't until 2023 from Camp Verde High School. Our oldest graduate is Angelina Rivas Luna, who lives in Clarkdale. She was born in 1951, and she's 69 years old, and she's completing a certificate in management. In fact, we have 119 graduates under the age of 18 this year, earning a combined 133 awards for 2021. And we have 64 graduates that are over the age of 50. Yavapai College has been recognized as a veteran-friendly campus, serving on average 265 veterans and dependents of veterans each semester. We proudly salute, thank, and welcome home those that have served in the armed forces. If you're a veteran, dependent, or spouse of a veteran, or actively serving in the U.S. Armed Forces, please stand and let us recognize you. Thank you for your sacrifice and for your service. We are hopefully on the tail end of this pandemic, but many community members didn't have the luxury of going remote. They had to go into overdrive to keep our communities safe. If you are a first responder, a nurse, work in the medical field, work in law enforcement or fire, please stand and let us thank you. Thank you for putting your life on the line for all of us. We forever thank you. Community colleges are proud providers of opportunity, and many of our students are first in their families to go to college. I am a proud first-generation college student myself. If you are the first one in your family to have gone to college, please stand up and be recognized. Education unlocks opportunity. You've taken a big step forward to increase educational attainment in your family and serve as a role model for generations that follow. All of our graduates have a dream, and they also have a story. Richard Morales had a dream. Richard had a 30-year career in multiple areas of banking, retail, and even as an aircraft mechanic. When in 2012, he fell into a coma. 5 days later, he woke up legally blind. No longer able to continue his work and determined not to sit idle, he enrolled at YC. Mastering new ways of learning, using new technology, memorizing volumes of texts and lectures, Richard is receiving his associate's degree in general studies and wants to work in the field of mental health. Richard, please stand. Let us recognize you. Lisa and Elena Graciano had a dream, a mother-daughter team. They are ecstatic to be graduating and celebrating together today. Mom, Lisa, is completing an Associate of Applied Science in Management, and daughter, Elena, is completing an Associate of Applied Science in Computer Systems and Applications. Lisa and Elena, could you please stand and be recognized? Throughout your educational journey, and especially during this pandemic, you found the strength to persevere under trying circumstances. What we now know about ourselves is that no matter what challenges may come our way, we have the strength to prevail. I can't tell you what you will confront in the years ahead, but I can tell you that no matter what you confront, it will not outstrip your capacity to deal with it. To all the dreamers here today, the college salutes you and wants you to know that Yavapai College has been blessed by your presence and engagement with us. And we are humbled and proud to be part of your personal story. And now, graduates, would you all please stand? I now invite you to move your tassel from the right to the left, signifying that you can now claim title to the academic degree or credential that you have earned. Congratulations, it's official, graduates. You may be seated. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Cami Kopaleski, Director of Development and Alumni Affairs.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the YC Alumni Association, I want to congratulate and welcome you as the newest Yavapai College alumni. You now belong to a group of over 170,000 people who have benefited from their educational pursuits at YC. We wish you great success as you enter this next phase of your life. The education you received at Yavapai College has equipped each of you to excel, to lead, to prosper, and to be agents of change in an ever-evolving global society. You have also shown incredible adaptability, courage, and ferocious tenacity as you've persevered through your educational pursuits in the middle of a global pandemic. Each of you is truly inspiring. At YC, we believe you can achieve, you can excel. As you soar, we want you to stay connected with us. Remember, your dream started at YC. The Alumni Association hopes to see you at one of our many future events where we won't have to be socially distanced and masked. We invite you to come cheer on our athletes at a Rough Rider game or stay connected with us on social media channels and to send us updates via our alumni website. We welcome your participation and can't wait to hear and share your success stories. You carry with you the spirit of YC. Again, welcome to the Yavapai College Alumni Association and congratulations on this amazing achievement.
Thank you, Cami. Well, this marks the end of our 51st commencement event. Thank you all for attending today. Audience, please remain seated until all the graduates have left the auditorium. Due to COVID, we have to clean this building prior to the next event, so we're requesting that you exit into the lobby, meet your graduates outdoors, and proceed with your celebration. Best wishes to all of you, and keep dreaming.